What happened 2.5 billion years ago? 2.5 billion years ago, the Solar System went through the most important event in its history, the merger of the binary Sun. Notice that this video addresses the three-body problem, the one where our Sun is a binary system composed of two stars with 70% and 30% of the current Sun's mass. The third body is Earth, that under a varying gravitation changed orbital radius while interacting with other planets, Jupiter, in particular. These figures tells the history of our binary Sun. The binary Sun merger, approximately 2.5 billion years ago, jump in luminosity and heat. When the two proto-suns merged, Earth suddenly received more energy. This would have raised surface temperatures, altering climate balance. Gravitational shock waves. The merger released enormous gravitational radiation. On Earth, this could have manifested as crustal stress, helping to initiate the first great continental breakups, the shift from early proto-continents toward recognizable plates. Notice that who eliminates the faint young sun paradox. It is impossible to avoid a snowball Earth under the current Sun's model, which is pretty much correct if one forget that G is varying. It is trivial to explain how Earth would react to increased luminosity without getting overheated. For example, increase luminosity increase cloud coverage and that increases albedo. High albedo means higher reflectivity. That is a natural reaction that would prevent a runaway heating. The Sun's violent merger not only shook Earth and fractured its crust, thus creating the continents, it echoed across the Solar System, pushing asteroids into Jupiter, stalling Mars evolution, and stirring the Kuiper Belt into the long-lived disturbances we now link with Planet 9. What else? Great Oxygenation Event, GO. The rise in stellar output increased UV radiation, which split water vapor and boosted oxygen production. Combined with biological oxygen release from cyanobacteria, this triggered the Great Oxygenation Event 2.4 to 2.3 billion years ago, the first time oxygen accumulated in the atmosphere. Earth system feedbacks. The sudden increase in sunlight also may have destabilized methane greenhouse chemistry, causing global cooling and glaciations, the Huronian snowball Earth, which followed soon after the Great Oxygenation Event.
Holy cow! No wonder Mordecai refused to have coffee with you. Your discovery would break his heart. I am sure he hopes you are wrong.
They all do hope I am wrong because most scientists have their own crackpot ideas and hope to create the theory of everything. It is human nature to be jealous. It is also human nature to use immoral and unethical methods to block others, and that is what we have here. You are lucky that Kryptonians are better people. I envy you. In summary, the standard narrative assumes a methane greenhouse as the solution to the faint young sun paradox, but the evidence is indirect at best. Methane levels in the Archean are inferred from isotopic signals, and whether they were ever high enough to sustain a warm climate is still debated. The hypergeometrical universe, WHO, framework offers a powerful alternative. Standard GR-based story, assumption-heavy, sun dimmer would results in Earth should be frozen. Postulated, methane greenhouse shield, keeps Earth warm. Great Oxygenation Event implies oxygen reacts with methane, which implies methane loss, which results into the Huronian glaciation. This requires a fine-tuned methane story, but methane concentrations over billions of years are not directly measurable. Who-based binary sun story. No need for a methane greenhouse assumption. Two hemi-suns, binary sun, contribute luminosity differently depending on their mass ratio. By tuning the binary ratio, Who naturally produces epochs of warmth or glaciation. At the merger, from 2.1 to 2.5 billion years, luminosity jumped, explaining the end of a long glacial epoch and the synchronization with the Great Oxygenation. So, in the traditional story, Earth's warmth is explained by a methane greenhouse that vanished when oxygen rose. But methane levels are guesses, not measurements. In the hypergeometrical universe, the binary sun itself explains Earth's temperature history. The ratio of its two stars determines whether Earth freezes or warms prior to the merger. The merger 2.5 billion years ago naturally ended the long glaciation and triggered the Great Oxygenation. The merger time is uniquely defined by the current Sun's core composition. In other words, Who eliminates the faint young sun paradox, the Earth snowball, and is supported by the yet unexplained Earth's events like the breakup of Earth crust concomitantly with the Great Oxygenation. It is consistent with the earliest large-scale breakup of Earth's crust, which happened around 2.5 billion years ago with the dispersal of Kenorland. This is the same window as the Huronian glaciation and the Great Oxygenation event. Earth's first modern-style plate tectonics and continental cycles seem to have kicked in around this time. So, Who is supported by the Great Oxygenation event, the beginning of plate tectonics, and explaining Earth temperature using only the sun and no hand waving. It also explains the evolution of Mars without the absurd Jupiter Great Tack, an event that brought Jupiter closer to Earth, where it collected asteroids that would be used to form Mars, just to be later kicked back into higher orbit. Jupiter is the largest planet in the Solar System. Dislocating it abruptly would decimate all the other planets, get them ejected. Who brings Jupiter closer because gravitation was stronger in the past. It also increases Jupiter's ability to collect asteroids. In addition, the binary sun merger also helped kicking out asteroids. Due to the small duration of the impulse, only smaller masses had time to accelerate outwards. In addition, the merger and the gravitational irradiation also explains distortions in the Kuiper Belt. Such distortions are considered evidence of Planet 9. They are really evidence of Sun's binary system previous nature.